Okay folks, try and keep this as quick as possible. Today I want to give a quick tutorial on how to assemble your own drum machine inside Reaper using Resamplomatic 5000. It might seem a little bit tedious when we get into it, but again I'm going to try and show you how to do it as quickly as possible, and by the time we're done you'll have a drum kit set up that you can customize on the fly and you can bring up on the fly. You're only going to have to set this up once and then it's going to become a tool that you'll have in the toolbox. So the reason that I wanted to do this is because I've been using MT Power Drummer for a while now, and it's a really useful plugin. It's free, which is just great, but it sounds amazing, and I love the fact that it's multi-out. I love the fact that I can just, you know, program all my drums onto one MIDI clip and then have multiple audio outputs for every element of the kit. So that's what I wanted to try and emulate. I just wanted to be able to put my own sounds into those elements of the kit, and I wanted more tweaking options for them right out of the box. So what I did is I came up with this. I've called it the Master Drum Machine. So what we've got here is a parent folder track. We've got this track that I've labelled MIDI, guess what goes in there, and then we've got 8 tracks that are all, well, they're all routed to this one, and on each track is a Resamplomatic 5000, and each one's got its own sample on it. And if I bring in MIDI item, then you'll notice that a bunch of random horrible sounds, but much like MT Power Drummer would have a different sound map to a different key, and then I can program that in with you know, little diamonds. Yeah. So it's really handy like that. So what I've done here is essentially I've made a drum kit. I've put 8 individual elements on that drum kit. You can do as few or as many as you like, but we're going to go into how I built this. I'm going to show you how you can set this up yourself and how you can have it so you can just open it up on a whim inside a project. So we're going to get rid of all of this and we're going to start from scratch. So the first thing that we do is I open this track, and that's going to be the parent folder track. And then I'm going to open another track, and that's going to be the MIDI. And then this one, the third track, is going to hold the first Samplomatic. Things are just flying over onto different displays here. Right, so first track, open Resamplomatic. Lovely jubbly. Now, to get things going, we're going to route this track, this track number 2, which will be our MIDI track. We're going to route it into this first instance of Resamplomatic. We're going to disable the audio on that send. We're going to click none, and then we're going to duplicate this track. Now, to keep things quick, I'm just going to do it 4 times. Obviously, in my drum kit I did 8, but in this one we're only going to do 4. So now we'll select all these and we'll put them into this one as its parent folder. I'm just going to label this one MIDI just to keep us straight and narrow. So now we've got a parent folder track, we've got a dedicated MIDI line, and we've got 4 instances of Resamplomatic all receiving information from this MIDI track. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into our first Resamplomatic, and we're going to bring up our media browsing window. So we'll do that with Control Alt and X. And I've already got that up onto some cassette 808 samples. So on number 1, I'm going to pick this kick drum and I'm going to drop it in. Now, what we need to do is to make sure that each element of this is triggered by its own individual piano note. Now I want my kits to start at C3, sorry, C2. That's just where I like to start. And obviously it's already playing from there, but it's going to play from anywhere. And the reason for that is if we go back into our first sampler, we can see where the note starts and where the note ends. So the note will start anywhere between C1 and G9. That's 127 keys that will trigger that one sample. We only want it to come from one. So what I'm going to do is on the note start, I'm going to put 36, and you'll see that's C2. And on the note end, I'm going to put 36. So now only C2 will trigger that note, which is a great start. The other thing that we want is we want to have some velocity sensitivity to that, because we want some dynamics in this. We don't just want a machine gun trigger the same level of kick drum every single time. So it's really simple to do that. On the minimum volume here, we're just going to drag that down to infinite. And now we've got some velocity reaction there. So that's our kick drum. The next thing that we want to do is a snare. So I'm going to go into my sample browser window here. There's a snare. Drag it in. And obviously, again, this one is going to be triggered by absolutely everything. Well, I only want it to go from one. So if the bass drum was triggered by key number 36 or C2, then I'm going to have it triggered from 37. So again, on note start 37, on note end 37, and again drag the minimum volume down to infinite. So now we've got a kick and a snare assigned to their own notes, and they've got some velocity room. So then on the third element of the kit, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm gonna find a hi-hat. I'm going to stick it in there, and again just the next one up, so note start 38, note end 38, give it the velocity control, boom, and then the last one, I don't know, let's put a tom in there for old time's sake. So finally 39, all we've done is gone up in order here, because that's where I like to start from, with C2, and now got some movement there. And again, minimum volume down to infinite. And now each element is triggered by its own note, going to its own audio track. All of this is controlled from this one MIDI line here, so it keeps it nice and neat. So then, to make this just a bit more functional and to be able to recall it, what we're going to do, well, first I think it's, we'll set them to a custom colour. I like purple for drum machines personally. So then we'll select all of our tracks, and we'll right click, and we will save tracks as template. There's one I did earlier, so just save it as drum machine demo. Or drum machine, however, this is just our demo. So now we can get rid of all of this, start from a blank slate, right click here, insert track from template, drum machine demo, and there we go. Just to show you that it's all ready to go. I could have done that with as many tracks as I liked, just change each note start and note end and just sort of get an idea of where they are, and then you can even, in the piano roll you could rename the notes and create a MIDI map if it's something you're going to use regularly. But here's where things can get really, really, really funky. For example, let's say I wanted to layer up kick drums. I wanted another kick drum to be triggered at the same time. On that same channel, on that same track, I can just add in another resamplomatic and then load in another sample and just have them both start and end on the same note as that kick drum. Give it the velocity information. And now I can trigger multiple samples from one note, so it makes it really easy to layer up elements of the kit and keep it neat. And the other really cool thing is, look at all the automation we've got. We can really control the nitty-gritty of every element of that sample on both samplers in the same track's automation. This is before we've even added in any effects or compression or anything like that. So suddenly we've got a drum kit that functions very much in the same way as something like MT Power Drummer or Easy Drummer, in the way that you'd be able to write the MIDI. But now it's tailor-made, and we can put anything that we want in here. It can make all the sounds that we want. We've got all the parameter automation options that we could ever ask for. It can just be your kit. So I hope that was really helpful, and I hope that you're going to go out and build your own crazy ass drum kits. And once you've created this as a track set template, not a project template, you could just open this on a whim and change it on the fly and put new samples in or put new layers in. And just, it doesn't even need to be drums, it could be anything. You could build an instrumental kit, glitchy sounds, just anything you want really. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Take care.